You know, I was very emotional and very hurt and very heated. I said I brought a gift.
I would have given
because
it back
I was
too.
Brittany.
Pardon? I
Keep
would
your
this too.
I stay out of it.
In fact, I'm the reason that you got kicked out in the first place because apparently you have a history of slut shaming. Am I right?
Why are you stepping into this?
Because I was saying,
You know, take the shampoo because your hair's f***ing fried and it looks like. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's review of my favorite Housewives franchise this year, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're doing season 5, episode 13 today. This episode opened up with Meredith Marks, with the Marks family. They're home. She's sorting out some of her bath bombs or whatever, going through some of the bath bombs. The bath bombs that she feels Whitney started to be in competition with her. The bath bombs that she thinks she is the only person that can make, and she somehow has the trademark and copyright on. Anyway, so they're going through that, and Seth wants to know what happened last night. He's like, what was that all about with you and Angie? Like, how did that escalate? So she's explaining to him how all she knows is that Brittany was crying. The kids came and told her that Brittany was crying. So when she went to go check on Brittany was crying, and she asked Brittany what happened. And Brittany was like, oh, she called me a slut. So when she asked Brittany, like, who? And Brittany was like, oh, Angie. So I guess she was like, when she heard Angie, she was over it because she's tired of Angie slut shaming people. And she came there to her event. It's supposed to be a peaceful thing all about love. So why you coming with that type of energy? So she's like, she put her out, and she feel like Angie is a mean girl. And she also says that she don't understand why Angie is so worried about Brittany's sex life, and that she finds it kind of weird. Meanwhile, Angie and Sean are home, and they're talking about it too. And Angie is saying, she invited me to her thing just to kick me out. Like, I don't know if she has any friends, so that's why she invited me. And then she's like, then again, Heather's plastic surgeon was there, so maybe she doesn't. And I'm Angie, you're a shady girl. So now, Angie goes on to claim how she was crying all night, and she's so hurt by this, and it was so mean of Meredith. And I'm like, Angie, girl, you was not crying all night. Please, miss me with that. Like, when I saw it the first time, I wasn't actually looking at the screen when she said it. So I thought she was being sarcastic when she said it, because it sounded sarcastic. But then when I saw it again just now, when I rewatched it to take my notes, and I'm really looking at her face, and sis was dead serious, saying she was crying all night. Girl, I don't think you was crying all night. Stop it. Now, anyway, so back at Meredith's, Chloe is mentioning how Sean, I guess, at the party had said to Meredith when she was kicking him out, like, oh, Meredith, you ain't even hear both sides of the story. And they showed a flashback of him saying that you saw the security guard standing there in front of him, and he was singing and yelling that across the room to Meredith. So now Meredith is like singing to Chloe, I don't need to hear both sides of the story. She's always slut-shaming somebody. She's always coming with mean girl energy, and I'm just over it. And plus, Meredith actually still wasn't over that whole situation, that whole comment about her hearing aid, when Angie told Bronwyn, you need to take Meredith's hearing aid so you can hear me. So she's like, how's she going to try to come for somebody and make fun of somebody with an impairment? So the kids is like, oh, it's not an impairment. It's a enhancement. And I'm like, Brooks and Chloe, why is y'all in this? Not for nothing, but we already know, the peoples don't care much for y'all. The people do not care for Meredith's kids too much, especially Brooks. So I just found it weird that they would actually insert themselves in this situation. Last week, Brooks was the one to come tell her. They're the ones that Brittany came crying to, that went and gave Meredith the message that pissed her off. So when they was talking about it, it was just now Chloe and Brooks now. Okay, I understand this. Y'all her kids and y'all defending your mom, but when the people's come for y'all on that internet now, I don't want to hear no crying, okay? Because y'all know the people's about to come for y'all, if they haven't already. So anyway, the next scene we see Mary, she's arriving at Angie's house to come visit Angie. And she's knocking on the door, but Angie's nowhere to be found. So Mary lets herself in, and she's sitting there waiting. So you see Angie come out with some flowers to put them out, and her back is turned to Mary. So Mary's like, "Hey, girl." So that startled Angie. She like, and then she jumped, and she's like, "Oh, you're here, baby. I wasn't ready for you. I was getting ready for you." So anyway, she finally, settles down, and they sit, and they're struggling to open a bottle of champagne. They eventually get it open, and they pour their drinks. So they get to talking, and Mary just unloads, and she lets Angie know about the whole conversation she had with Robert Jr. And she was like, I asked him, she was like, when you could tell your kids are not the same person and something is not right. She was like, so I told him, what's up? Talk to me. Like, let me know what's up. And she was like, and boy, did he. Boy, did he. So she started to tell Angie everything and just unloaded on Angie. And she was getting emotional as she was talking, as she's telling Angie. Angie's just listening, and she's reacting like, but she's listening. And Mary is just crying. She's getting emotional, and she's singing how, she never imagined this, and is it her fault? What did she do wrong? She also lets Meredith know how he said he felt like he was a stain and he wanted to take his own life. And she was the only reason why he didn't. So she's, talking to Angie, and she's like, I'm telling him, I asked for you. Like, what would I do without you? You are the only thing that makes me happy. And I don't know what I would do without him. So, Mary is kind of breaking down a little bit, and Angie is telling her, you're a great mother. It's a disease. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't blame yourself. I went through the same thing with my mother, and that was what helped me on my road to forgiveness, was to understand that it's not it's a disease. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so when Mary was telling her about all the, drugs that Robert was saying that he was doing, I noticed that she mentioned heroin, because when she said it, I gagged. I was like, what? I remember saying that, but the thing is, I don't remember Robert Jr. singing nothing about heroin. He didn't say that when he was telling her. I remember he said Molly, acid, Xanax, cocaine, and all that. But I don't remember him singing heroin. I even went through my notes. I just had to edit the video because I had to stop to go through my notes to see. And I don't remember him saying that, but she told Angie heroin was one of the drugs. So anyway, she let Angie know that she was gonna be coming to the trip later because she want to make sure Robert Jr. is good, and then she'll meet them there. And Angie is like, yeah, do what you gotta do. So she also lets Angie know that she wants her to keep this between them, and she makes Angie pinky swear. And Angie reminds her that you're a great mother. So now we see a montage of all of the ladies. They're getting ready and packing for the trip to Puerto Vallarta. So now it's 3 days. The next thing we see is 3 days until 3 days later. I'm sorry, it's 3 days later, and the ladies arrive at the airport. So they arrive at the airport, and Heather is excited because she's like, she's cool with everybody. She don't have no problems with nobody right now. And she starts to list all the ladies who has problems, and she's like, thank God for TSA. So now, Bronwyn announces that she had bought some little passport holders for the ladies as gifts. So she pulls out some little cute passport holders for everybody. So now Lisa is frustrated because they show a flashback of when Bronwyn was asking her before the trip if it was okay if she bought gifts for the ladies. And Lisa told her, no, that's all right. I'm bringing everybody gifts. I got it. So, Lisa don't nobody to outshine her or steal her shine. So she was not feeling that. She ain't say nothing at the time. She ain't actually never say nothing about it, but she felt the way. So then Bronwyn also reveals how she got into an incident with her dog at the dog park, and another dog bit her in the back of her leg, and when she went to go bend down, it bit her in the arm. So she has stitches and a cast and everything, and the ladies is like, oh my gosh. And Brittany's like, Chanel heals all wounds or whatever. And they kind of didn't really talk much about it. So I'm like, wait a minute, huh? Like, I want to hear more about this dog accident, Bronwyn. Like, what the hell happened? Like, I needed more details because they showed the scars and them scars looked nasty. Like, that dog tore her up. And I'm like, girl, now I have a pit bull myself that just walked by me behind me. I don't know if y'all saw his tail wagging, but I know for a fact that he bit me one time by mistake when he was sleeping and he woke up to a loud firecracker outside the window. And I remember I couldn't walk for days. I had to go to the hospital and everything, get a mammogram on my leg and everything. It was serious. So I'm like, Bronwyn, you do have 6 dogs and they're all big dogs. The girl, like, did one of your dogs turn on you? And that's why y'all not talking about it too much on camera. Like, I wanted to know more. And not for nothing, I'm seeing in the blogs and I'm seeing online that y'all supposedly had not one, but 2 lawsuits filed against y'all for y'all dogs attacking delivery drivers that was delivering packages to your home. So now I'm like, Brittany, what's really going on? The people want to know, okay? So now, Lisa, they arrived in Puerto Vallarta, and immediately I served some drinks. I believe they were margaritas. So Lisa lets us know that she has a whole PowerPoint presentation for this trip to make sure everything runs smoothly and flawlessly. So now they arrived at the villa, which is called Vedanta. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Vedanta. Vedanta. And they immediately served champagne before they even enter the villa. As soon as they get out their Sprinter. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Hand me some champagne. First they had the margarita. And guys, this sounds like my kind of trip, girl. So yes, so now they have 2 villas. Lisa lets them know they have 2 villas. They're 2 identical villas. They're both beautiful, by the way. So they're checking out the villas, and she lets them know that she assigned villas. So in one villa, it's going to be Lisa, Meredith, Heather, and Brittany. And in the other villa will be Whitney, Bronwyn, Angie, and Mary when she gets there. And Lisa basically showed us the whole logic behind why she put each person in the villa, why she set the villas up the way she did. She pretty much had a PowerPoint presentation for that too, if you want to ask me. So now Bronwyn is pretty much over it. You could tell she's over it. She doesn't say nothing in that moment, but she definitely lets us know that she's furious, and she definitely gets the message. She says Lisa Barlow is sending a message letting her know, girl, like, you messed up. So now you got to get back in my good graces and, kiss the ring. And Bronwyn was like, after this snub, baby, she might have to get back in my good graces. So I'm like, ooh, child. Okay. So now Angie and Whitney are in their little villa, and they're talking, and they're like, how did Bronwyn get kicked out of the Cool Girls Club? Because the last time we checked, Bronwyn was throwing these 2 girls under the bus to get in good graces with Heather and them. And look where that got you, Bronwyn. With the same girls you threw under the bus, honey. So as they're talking, Bronwyn comes in and she's like, oh, am I interrupting anything? And they like, no, come in, whatever. So they ask her, they like, we was just asking why, how did you get kicked out of Whitney says, I call it the Mean Girls Club. So Bronwyn is like, yeah, I'm like kind of over it too. Like that Lisa would put me in this villa knowing that I only know her through you. Like, she's my friend. I met you guys through her. Also, I was just attacked by a dog, so I'm like injured. Plus, she know what I'm going through with Gwen or whatever. And they show a flashback of her with Lisa and John when they was talking about, he was telling her about his experience meeting his birth mother. Because remember, John was adopted as well. And Lisa went through this whole thing on DNA, whatever, Ancestry.com to find out his birth mother and all that. And when he finally met her, he said Lisa wanted like a happy ending, a fairy tale ending, but it was the exact opposite or whatever. So Bronwyn asked him, if you had the chance to do it over again, would you? And he was like, no. Because remember, when they talked about it, he said they met. And when he met the parents, I think the mother's husband called him a bastard or something like that. And it was like, oh. So he said, like, he felt, I wouldn't have enjoyed that experience either. It's like you want to meet your birth mother and then you meet her. And it's like, and he said that she told him how after she had the baby and gave it away, she never thought about it again. Like, most people who have a kid and give it away for adoption, they may think about that kid every day. Maybe after a certain amount of years, it might not be an everyday thing, but they still might every now and then wonder what could have been. So the fact that you just had the baby and was like, here you go, and went back to life is like, girl, what? It ain't affect you in no kind of way. Child. Anyway, so now Bronwyn is letting them know, like, she feels shaded by Lisa. She feels snubbed by Lisa, like that Lisa would put in the room. She feel like Lisa's basically teaching her a lesson. And Whitney looking like, yeah, girl, you done fucked around and found out, sis. So, yeah, so now the next scene, we see Lisa. She's with Meredith, and they're chatting it up. And Lisa's telling Meredith how she feels a way that Bronwyn bought the passport holders the gifts for the girls, because Bronwyn asked her and she told her no, she got it. So Meredith is like, so do you think she did it like singing like screw you, like to screw you, like to say like later for you? Or do you think that she had already pre-ordered them before, so she was just like, I'm gonna just bring them anyway? So Lisa was like, honestly, like Bronwyn just does whatever she wants to do. And she feels like Bronwyn does not take what she says into consideration, and she just does her. And she's pretty much over it. That's what she says. So now Lisa asks Meredith how she feels about Angie. And same old Meredith, she slut shames people, and, that's just not my vibe or whatever. So now Lisa makes a weird statement saying, oh, she better be on her best behavior. I'm like, huh? Like, didn't y'all just make up and make nice with each other? And now she better be on her best behavior? Girl, what? Why? Didn't y'all just have a conversation about staying out of it? Stay out of it. Just like you want her to, how you see how that works? You see how you want her to stay out of your situation with Whitney? She wants you to stay out of her situation with Meredith. See how that works, sis? So anyway, Meredith, and that's funny that she said that too, because Angie is going to turn up later. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she knows. So now, later on, we see Meredith, she's getting ready for dinner, and she asks the butler to take a bag downstairs and put it at the table. And we see it's a Mark's bag. So now we see the flashback of her home, and we see that was Angie's gift. She was taking the gift out in front of the kids, and it was some shampoo and conditioner from Angie's salon. So she told Chloe to read the instructions, and Chloe was like, oh, this has sulfate in it. So Meredith was like, oh, I have keratin in my hair, so I have to use sulfate-free shampoo. Like, so what was the purpose of that gift? So basically, she sent it back to her. I was like, Meredith, that is so shady. How you send the gift back? Like, oh, I guess she was like, Angie, you was talking shit about how you bought me a gift, but I ain't bring you one. Here you go, sis. And she can't use it anyway, but still, you gave it back, kids. You gave it to somebody else. That's so petty and shady, Meredith. So now we see it's dinner time, and they all meet up. Lisa comes down to greet them. They get into their little cart to go for poolside drinks. So now they get to the poolside area where they're going to have the drinks at, and the bartender is making them some margaritas made with Vita tequila, of course. So now Brittany, hold up, y'all. Wait a minute, y'all. Everybody stop what you're doing. Wait. Hold the presses. Brittany has an announcement. So now the girls is like, oh gosh, girl, what announcement is this? Because we all know what it gives when Brittany's making an announcement. The announcement could be, me and Jerry broke up. Then the next announcement could be, me and Jerry got back together. And the next announcement is, Me and Jared went official. He posted me on his social media. But this announcement was actually pretty good. So she was announcing how, she was like, guys, you know how I was at odds with my two daughters or whatever. She said, one of them actually came to visit me the other day. And she came with one of her friends and we hung out all day. And she actually spent the night. Like, that's a big deal. And, the girls seemed to be like unfazed by that. And Meredith was the only one who was like, oh, that's good. I'm happy for you. And the other girls just looking like, so Brittany is like gagging, like, wait a minute, like, why aren't these ladies like paying? That's a big deal. Like she said, she basically was like, she had problems with her daughters from her first marriage. She had a fallout with them because of something that happened during her second marriage. So, she felt like for the ladies to not acknowledge that was a good thing. She felt a way about that. So anyway, they go sit down to wait to be seated for dinner. And Lisa asked the girls if they liked their villa. So this is when Bronwyn takes the opportunity to let her know that she does not like the fact that Lisa put her in the other villa with the other girls. And Lisa's like, why? What's the problem? Lisa always playing dumb. She don't know what's going on. Why? What's wrong? So Bronwyn is like, basically like, I know you. I came on this trip. You're the only person I know and trust. Like, so why would you separate me and put me in another room with other girls or whatever? And Lisa's like, look, I made the rooms based on who would be comfortable with each other. I didn't think it was such a big deal. We're right next door to each other. We both in different villas, but we're right pretty much next door to each other. So Bronwyn is like, but that's not the case. Like, that's not the point. Like, she's saying how, like, I'm injured or whatever. And, like, basically she feels away. So Lisa's like, I don't get it. Like, you're being ungrateful pretty much. She took it as Bronwyn was being ungrateful. And Bronwyn was like, no, I don't care about the wrong. I care about what's going on with us right now. You know what I'm saying? And Lisa's like, what you mean what's going on with us or whatever? And Bronwyn just feels like Lisa always act like it's all good with them, but her actions don't show that they're good. So Bronwyn is just basically letting Lisa know, like, I don't feel like that's right. Like, and Lisa was basically saying, oh, when I take trips, whatever, this and that. And I guess Bronwyn felt like she was insinuating that she was a snob, because Bronwyn was like, so now you calling me a snob? So Bronwyn was like, I don't get it. I'm telling you how I feel, and you're telling me I'm ungrateful and I'm a snob, instead of listening to where I'm coming from and understanding what I'm saying. So basically, they're going back and forth, and she asked Lisa, like, you just met Brittany, and she's in a room with you, and here go Brittany. And maybe she likes me better, so... And Brittany is like, in her confessional, Brittany doesn't even realize that she's a pawn. Like, she thinking it's all good, but Lisa's basically just using her right now to get at Bronwyn. So, they going back and forth about this whole thing with the, Bronwyn feels like she don't want, she wanted to be next to Lisa in the room with Lisa. Like, she felt more comfortable because she met these girls through Lisa. And I can understand where she's coming from, because if it's like, you're my friend and you invite me on a trip with your other friends that I met through you, I want to be in the same villa as the friend I know. I don't know these girls, okay? So I get where she was coming from, but Lisa saw it as she was being ungrateful and she was being a snob. And we also do know Lisa was basically also making her pay for giving her lip, pretty much. So now, Lisa says, you're with me. Besides sleeping and taking a shit, you're with me. So they go to the waiter come let them know that the table is ready, and they're walking off to go to dinner. And Bronwyn is saying how she basically feels like she's at her breaking point now. So as they walk into the dinner, she's still complaining about it to Lisa on the way to the table. So now when they get to the table, that's when we see the Brooks Marks bags there. And I guess Meredith told him to put I guess they had table mark. I don't know if they had the name settings or whatever. I don't know how he knew to put it at Angie's table, but I guess production did that. It was set up that way because in Angie's chair or whatever, because it was there for Angie. So then Heather noticed it, and Heather was like, "Why does she have a Brooke Marks bag?" And Angie's like, "Yeah, you bought me a gift or something. Why?" So when Angie looked in it and noticed that it was her gift, she's like, "Wait a minute, this is the gift I bought you. I bought you a journal. I didn't see it was also a journal too. We didn't know about the journal part." And she was like, "I bought you a journal and I bought you gifts and like, this is what you do." So Meredith was like, "You said you wanted your gift back or you wanted me to return your gift." And Angie's like, "Did I say that?" And Meredith was like, "That's what I heard you said." And Angie's like, "Did I say that?" Or whatever. So they're going back and forth about the gift. So now Brittany tries to go get into it, and Angie's telling her, "Mind your business. This don't got nothing to do with you." And Angie's like, "I'm the reason why you got kicked out in the first place. You slut shamed me. And from what I hear, you have a history of slut shaming, right?" And here go Meredith. Yeah, that's right. So now Angie's like, "Why you getting in it?" And Brittany's still going on. So Angie, you see her take the bag with the shampoo and conditioner and get up and throw it to Brittany like, "Here, you take it. Because your hair looks fried and looks like shit." Girl, and it was I think it was a glass table, so that shit hit kind of hard. So everybody was gagging like, what is going on? So Angie was like, "That was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to hit that hard or whatever." So now they still going at it over who called who a slut. Brittany, like, it went from her saying you was sleeping with 3 guys to you accusing her of sleeping with 10 guys. Now you're claiming she said you sleeping with 15 different guys. Like, girl, what's the next number going to be? 20? Are you going to just add more guys onto this every time y'all argue about this? Because literally, like, you are dragging it, Brittany. So now they actually show a flashback of them at some other party, wherever they was at. And Brittany was telling them how she's messing with 3 guys at the same time. I mean, she didn't necessarily, she was sleeping with all of them, so I guess Angie assumed that. But she kind of didn't make that clear. And from what she was given, she was sleeping with them. That's the way I took it. So, hey, girl. So now, they're talking, they're going back and forth. Angie and Meredith are still going back and forth. Angie and Brittany, they're all going in. Meredith was like, "That's it, I've had it. You call her slut, and I'm not gonna blah, pointing that finger." You know how Meredith gets to pointing that finger in. So now Angie's like, "You don't even know what happened. You got your little part of the story, and that's that." So then Lisa goes to step into it, and when Lisa goes to say something, Angie is like, "Don't defend her. Stop defending her." And Lisa's like, "What do you mean? I'm not defending her." And Angie's like, "Yes, you are. I know you like defending your certain friends or whatever." And Lisa's like, "Why can't we just..." She just basically had an outburst like, "Why can't we just speak in facts? Why can't we just speak in facts?" I'm like, girl, take yourself back. So now Angie and Meredith are trying to talk, and they're trying to clear the air or whatever. But Bronwyn steps in to clear it up because she lets them know, she clarifies, because Brittany's like all in between it and saying she didn't do nothing. And Bronwyn, because Angie's saying how Brittany called her a slut, and Brittany like, "No, you called me a slut." So Bronwyn clarified that Brittany did start it. She insinuated earlier that night that Angie was a slut, and Bronwyn told Angie, so Angie confronted Brittany, and that's when she called her a slut. Now Bronwyn was like, Angie was wrong for calling her a porn star or whatever, but Brittany did start it. And here go Angie. Angie was like, "That's..." What she said, she was like, "Let's not insult porn stars." So now, as they're talking, Heather points out that Brittany is being hypocritical. She's basically like, you can't be mad when somebody brings you wine when you drink wine. And you can't be sitting there claiming that your body count is equal to the amount of times you've been married when you have a boyfriend. So now Brittany claims that me and my boyfriend are not even sleeping with each other having sex. Wait, what? The very first time I met you, when you was telling us about your relationship with Jared Osman, you said you can't get enough of him because he's so yummy. I took that as the dick is good. That's how I took it. But who knows what you meant by yummy? Maybe it tastes good. And that's what y'all do. When you say y'all not having sex, maybe you just sucking him off. I don't know what y'all doing, but I don't buy that you're not having sex. And neither are the ladies, because they're like, girl, bye. How you not having sex for him? And Angie was like, the other day you had some lingerie on saying, yes, I wore these for Jared the other day and all this and that. And they showed the flashback of her and she was showing it to them. They didn't show her, but you know how they show the door and they show what they're seeing behind the door. And she was showing it to them, I guess, and saying, and they asked her, have you wore it for Jared? And she was like, yeah. So even Bronwyn was like, nobody I'm not fucking ain't never buy me no crotchless panties ever. So yeah, so Bronwyn missed all of us with that. All right, girl, we is not buying that, honey. You read high body count, just like Angie said. So now, Meredith decides to finally say, you know what, Angie, I want to say something to you. I don't know if I got the right whole story or not, but, she apologized for kicking her out and jumping to conclusions. And Angie apologized, and I was like, all right. So Angie was like, I didn't come with those intentions. I wanted to show you. And because Meredith wanted to know, why did you want to come? And Angie said, because you was celebrating something that was important to you. It was a religious thing, and I wanted to support you. She said, I've never been to a bar mitzvah, so I was honored to, have the opportunity. I wasn't expecting that. And, I was devastated. So basically, they apologized to each other, and Angie's like, I don't want to fight with you. And Meredith was like, I don't want to fight with you either. And pretty much that's how the episode ended, on a nice, peaceful, positive note. It was a good episode, like every episode. It was a really good episode. Like I said, this is my favorite Housewives franchise. They're only 5 seasons in, and they have managed to become my favorite. The only other one that I really enjoyed this year, that as much, was Orange County. But yes, this is episode 13, guys. Let me know what you think. Angie is really becoming my favorite. I know some people say she's extra, she's dramatic, she does things, she's too, performative. But I love it. I love it. Sorry, I love it. And her and Mary together, I love it. So I'm looking forward to next week when Mary arrives. So guys, leave them comments, subscribe to the channel, and the next video you'll see from me tomorrow will be a double recap for Potomac. It'll be a double from last week's episode and last night's episode. Until then, talk to you guys later. Bye.